What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about Ethereum, what I think about it in the short term, what I think about it in the long term, and discussing some interesting news stories. So before we get into that, if at any point you enjoy this video, please consider hitting the like, hitting subscribe, turning on my post notifications so you can always get alerted as soon as I post, and it really supports my channel. As always, guys, thank you. So let's talk about Ethereum. Right now it is hanging out at this crucial support line at about 1800, and let's just say things are not looking too good for the short term. Now, I did talk about the big green dot that we got on the daily time frame for Ethereum. I tweeted about it, and I mentioned how the last time we got one of these big green dots on Ethereum was at around the bottom of the March 2020 crash. Now, in March of 2020, the green dot did signify a bottom, because from there it was only upward action. So the question is, are we going to see a similar thing with this green dot right here? And I guess the best answer would be, I don't know. There is a chance that this does recover off this support line. We get a bounce, and then that is a classic double bottom formation here. But if that doesn't happen, and if we do indeed continue to break lower from here, which in my opinion it kind of looks like we're doing right now, then the next area to look for support would be right around here at the $15,000, or excuse me, $1,500 area. Now, everybody has been dreading the futures contracts expiring today, and I believe that they already expired. They close on the last Friday of the month, 4 p.m. London time, which would be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and so that means that they should have closed already. Everybody was expecting a massive move, particularly to the downside, with the expiration of the futures contracts. And I mean, we did have I believe like about a 10% drop. Yeah, we had about a 10% drop here. Was that it? That is the golden question. Was that the entire drop, or are we going to be looking at a possible 25% drop all the way down to $1,500? Now, I can't give you an exact answer on that, but what I can tell you is what I tweeted about just a few minutes ago, was that even if it does, I am not selling my Ethereum, because I believe if it does drop to $1,500, then that is going to be more of a likely bottom than 1800 is. And more specifically, I'd be looking at about 1520-ish area. Ethereum was struggling to break out of this area here, and when it finally did, it came up and then retested 1520 as support, and then it did a little bit of this action, and then tested it as support once again right over here before it went absolutely crazy, derailed train type action from Ethereum. Alright, so that is why I'd be looking at about 1520 for support and for a potential bottom for this massive correction that we've had. So I've said it before, I don't expect an immediate recovery in the beginning of July. I would expect similar price action to what we've been seeing, some more consolidating, maybe for another month, maybe two, into August possibly, because this, we have to look at it how it is. This is a massive correction in what we think is still the middle of a bigger bull cycle. And I will slowly work my way over to the 2013 bull run. Just bear with me here. Okay, so this is looking at Bitcoin's price back in 2013. And as you can see, from the top to the time that we broke all-time highs again, it was approximately 214 days. So this was a massive, massive correction in what was ultimately just the beginning of the bigger bull cycle. How many months is 213 days? Okay, so that is about 7 months time that that it took from when it dropped from its all-time highs to when it got back above those all-time highs. Now, the time from when it put in a top to when it put in a bottom was only about 9 days, right? Because you can see this bottom right here it did turn out to be the bottom, and this was a massive correction, I would assume. Yeah, this was an 80% correction from the top to the bottom. So I would say there's a possibility of some similarities, but there are definitely some differences in these two scenarios, the 2013 scenario and what is happening now. So I did all that pretty much just to say that I do believe that this bull cycle is not over yet. This overall long-term bull cycle is not finished yet. I kind of expect to see it progress onto maybe mid-2022, depending on how long we consolidate here for. But that would mean that we could continue consolidating in this area for possibly a few more months, maybe up until August or September. Maybe we go a little bit lower even and then start working our way back up. Because I feel like at this point the market has undergone a large amount of shock. You could say it is in shock. Just like when you step on a plant and the plant is crushed right now. But if you give it some time, you keep watering it, you keep giving it sunlight, you keep giving it lots of love, then maybe that plant can rise again before winter arrives. And winter in this case would be the multi-year bear market, which we are all expecting to happen at some point. So, yep, like I said, we would be looking for support at 1500 again. If we were to go substantially lower than 1500 is when I would be genuinely worried. But I'm not going to be too worried until we break down these levels and sort of establish that we're going much lower. So yeah, 1500. Let's get on to some good news. Alright, EIP-1559 nears as Ethereum upgrade launches to testnet. The long-awaited Ethereum London upgrade is nearing, with the hard fork launching on testnet before its full deployment next month. The upgrade will herald the implication of the highly anticipated EIP-1559 modification that will alter the Ethereum transaction fee calculation mechanism. In the early hours of June 24th, lead developer Tim Biko tweeted that the first block has been produced on the Ropsten testnet. The next phase in the London hard fork rollout is deployment on that testnet, which is scheduled for June 30th. Following that, it will be launched on the Rinkeby testnet on July 7th, and finally the upgrade will be rolled out on Ethereum mainnet later this month. The EIP-1559 will change the current fee auction mechanism by limiting the first price auction as the main gas fee calculation. Under the new mechanism, there will be a discrete base fee for transactions to be included in the next block. Users or applications that want to prioritize their transactions can add a tip to speed things up a little. The base fee will dynamically change depending on how full the block is at the time of transaction. This allows dApps, wallets, and protocols to automatically set lower and more accurate gas fees. The major upside is the deflationary change to Ethereum's economics that the EIP will bring by burning the base fee. ETHUB founder Anthony Cicano shared a tool to view how much ETH was being burnt on the testnet. So, EIP-1559 has been launched on a testnet, which is great. I hope the testnet goes smoothly with no issues, so we can get this thing rolled out for real, because, to be quite frank, Ethereum could really use some good news right now. I am extremely bullish on Ethereum in the long term. Extremely bullish, but ETH has really been kicked around recently. Even this entire bull cycle, we saw Ethereum kind of lagging behind, and only in the last month, like May and maybe a little bit of April, we saw Ethereum actually performing how we expected it to perform when it rallied all the way up to 4,500. Ethereum is my personal biggest holding. Right behind that is Chainlink, and that should show how confident I am in Ethereum in the long term. And in the short term, it's like Ethereum has been just taking fall after fall after fall. Now I expect there to be a bit of media FUD around Ethereum 2 with EIP-1559 approaching. In my personal opinion, I believe that would be because institutions are trying to accumulate, and it would kind of add up with the argument that this correction was manipulation, was intended, but we can never know. Which is why I try not to give too much credit to news stories or to FUD. I will glance over them, and I will try to pick out the truth from the BS. But just remember why we like Ethereum in the first place, where we think it's going, and how this upgrade will help get us there slightly faster. So, yep, good news for Ethereum. I hope this all gets rolled out without a hitch, that everything goes smoothly, because, as I said, Ethereum could really use it right now. Alright, and on to the last story that we have. This is not really talking about Ethereum, but it's an Ethereum token that I think is pretty interesting. We've been talking about this possible utility for a while, and that is the introduction of blockchain technology to video games, and the possibility of monetizing your time spent on a video game to earn you something back. And so that is the idea behind this project right here. The gods are evidently fond of tokens. Immutable said today that the Gods Unchained blockchain card game will launch a new Ethereum token dubbed $Gods in partnership with 9 Realms. The Sydney, Australia-based Immutable will launch the Gods token to scale its trading market and play-to-earn systems in the game. That means that players will be able to buy and sell tokens and gain a voice on how the studio will run the Gods Unchained. Immutable said this helps give players a stake in the game and its economy, shifting power from the developers to the players by providing in-game assets that players can actually own. The Gods token will sit at the heart of the game's ecosystem, providing both in-game and external utility. At launch, Gods will operate as a utility and governance token, giving holders a voice in the digital space. as well as active staking opportunities that allow players to earn rewards through gameplay campaigns. Over time, functionality will expand to embed the token within Gods Unchained play-to-earn game loops, enabling players to earn God's token by simply playing the game. I call this the leisure economy, where we get paid to play video games. So this is an idea that's been talked about. Since I've been in crypto, I've only been in the space for about 7-8 months now, and I've been hearing about this idea since I first started researching the space as a whole, where eventually this is going to evolve to where anybody can make money just playing video games at your house, something that most people spend lots of time on already. And so these guys are taking the first step towards that. I think this is interesting. I don't know if this sounds like a game I would be interested in playing, but the fact that these guys are taking the first steps towards this new idea is very interesting. Okay, guys, well, that's pretty much all I had for today. Let me know what you guys thought of these stories in the comments below, and also leave your predictions on what's going to happen with Ethereum, what's going to happen with the market as a whole. Do you think we are in for another month and a half of consolidation? Do you think we're in for another 3 months of consolidation? Or do you think that we're in a bear market already and there's no chance of us recovering from this? Whatever you think, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions. I will respond to every comment as long as you're not a spammer or a scammer. And yeah, guys, that pretty much does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider hitting the like, hitting subscribe, turning on my post notifications. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next video. Peace out.